Welcome into DRF Daily, DRF Sportsbook's betting live stream, coming at you every Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. When there is football on, we are on as well to give you guys the breakdown of what we think will happen in the day's games using DRF Sports Pro data, using StatFox sheets, using everything at our disposal that you can have at your betting disposal as well if you head to drf.com/sports. Today, we're breaking down a fantastic, maybe I shouldn't say fantastic, I throw that word around a lot. We're breaking down a football game that's going to happen on Amazon Prime. It's a Thursday night football game, so have your expectations tempered just a little bit. The Denver Broncos, they're playing host to the Indianapolis Colts, and it might be a bad game. It might be that of what we saw Broncos 49ers a few weeks ago. It's such an interesting game. Both of these teams are, I feel like, anomalies. Both of these teams were teams we expected to be really, really good this year, but they just haven't been that great. But before we jump into all of that, and you're going to want to stick around to the very end because we have 3 player props that I think are fantastic, and our play for the night is a little contrarian to that of the public. So you're going to want to stick around to see how you can make some real money here with DRF Daily. But before we get into that, as always, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, anywhere on social media we are as well. Just check out at DRF Sportsbook, and you can follow us to get up-to-date line movements, trends, angles, everything of the sort is on DRF Sportsbook on social media at DRF Sportsbook. Just search us and you will come up. And then, like I said, you can subscribe for free to DRF Sports Pro data. Just hit sign up in the top right corner of drf.com/sports, and you'll get access to all of our free previews. If you want access to all of the games, you can spend a little bit of money and get a quarterly subscription, a yearly subscription, or a monthly subscription. And then you can check out all the data for every single game. NBA, NHL, those are tipping off and the puck is dropping soon. NFL, college football, college basketball when that comes back in November. NASCAR Fox sheets, everything you need to be a profitable bettor, we have over at drf.com/sports. You can also sign up for our newsletter there, The Rundown, which hits your inbox every Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. And of course, we have a message from DRF Cash Grab. They want to give you money for free Check out how.
Introducing the DRF Cash Grab app, the super easy, free-to-play sports predictor game from a name you know and trust, the Daily Racing Form. Use your sports knowledge to predict the winners, and you could score thousands of dollars in cash prizes. Pro football, college football, pro basketball, college basketball, hockey, soccer, boxing, baseball, and more. Compete against others for a spot on the monthly leaderboard. Download the DRF Cash Grab app and play today.
All right, with that out of the way, all the housekeeping stuff is done. Let's break down today's Colts Broncos Thursday night game. Bound to be a fantastic one. Broncos 3-point favorites. They've been hovering around that 3.5 mark since this line opened. It's down to Broncos -3 right now. It was -3.5 just a few hours ago. I would not be surprised if we saw it bounce back up to 3.5. That number 3 is kind of a magic number. Of course, in football, you can win by 3. So at -3, that's a push. So we might see it jump back up to -3.5. Will be interesting to see how that shakes out as we get closer to kickoff. The total is set at 42, which to me seems a little bit high. I think 25 might be around the number. We saw a 21-point game on Thursday night a few weeks ago with the 49ers and Broncos when it was an 11-10 game. Absolutely abysmal. I think this game might be similar for a few reasons. The Broncos are 16th in expected points added, and if you listen to DRF Daily during college football days, I always love bringing up EPA. I think it gives us a good measure of how good or how efficient a team actually is. And the Broncos are 16th in the first 80 yards of the field. They're dead last when it comes to the red zone. They've only scored 2 red zone touchdowns this season on a lot of opportunities. They have 2 goal line fumbles that came week 1 against the Seahawks. And now Javonte Williams is out, and it's the Melvin Gordon show and a third string running back that I'm not sure what his name is. But it's Melvin Gordon who has a pure fumbling problem. It'd be interesting to see what he does when he has the full workload. On the other end, the Colts come into this one not too great. Colts 1-2. They have bad losses. Well, maybe it's not a bad loss. Maybe Jacksonville's just a good team, and we just didn't expect it then. But Colts come into this one with a 1-2 record, +3, a -7 point differential. So nothing too fantastic for the Colts coming into this one. But I think it begs the question, what's going wrong with both of these teams? Yeah, the Broncos are 2-2. They were 2-1. But I mean, both of these teams brought in these elite level QBs, right? They both brought in Matt Ryan for the Colts, Russell Wilson for the Broncos. Both were supposed to give them the jolt they needed to take that next step. A lot of people thought the Colts were going to be dark horse Super Bowl contenders. I thought so too. But it turns out Jonathan Taylor and that offensive line might have regressed a little bit from last season. Maybe Matt Ryan was just bad in Atlanta. Maybe it was compounded that the fact Atlanta was bad. But maybe Matt Ryan's not that great. He's thrown 5 interceptions so far this season. And the Colts don't look like a winning football team. Frank Reich's seat, maybe it's heating up. I'm not tuned in enough to the Colts, but maybe something's going on there. But besides all that, we can speculate around what's happening with these two teams all day. But I'm here to talk about the betting aspect of it, and that's why I'm on the Colts +3 for a few reasons. You talk about Denver's home field advantage, right? Well, they're only 10-9 against the spread the last 3 seasons at home. That's not a true home field advantage when it comes to against the spread. Not only that, Denver's 0-7 against the spread over the last 2 seasons. There we go. Denver's 0-7 against the spread over the last 2 seasons against teams that don't force 1 or more turnovers. Indy only forces 0.8 turnovers per game if we're talking on an on-average basis. So that's a weird stat, but it has a rating of 2, which means it's a solid rating according to our data provider, StatFox. So pair that with the fact Frank Reich, 9-1 against the spread in road games after he failed to cover 2 of the last 3. They failed to cover last game out against Tennessee, and they failed to cover 3 games ago against Jacksonville. The only game they've covered over their last 3 was against Kansas City. And Indy is 7-0 against the spread in road games against defenses that allow 4.5 yards per carry or more over the last 3 seasons. Denver in the bottom third of the league, allowing 4.8 yards per carry. So all of that, plus the fact Indy's 11-2 against the spread coming off a division game in the last 3 seasons. They played Tennessee the last time out. Colts have everything going in their favor in terms of historical trends, a lot of really solid ratings in their favor, and these aren't like 10-8, 10-7 types of historical trends. This is 11-2. This is 7-0. This is Frank Reich being 9-1 in his career after not covering two of the last. Like, these are really solid historical trends. And that's why I'm going the Colts +3. I think the Colts aren't as good as we thought they were, but I don't think they're as bad as we think they are currently. And I think Denver isn't great. They lost Randy Gregory. It's going to be a huge loss. Granted, the Colts don't have Jonathan Taylor or Shaquille Leonard. So that will be an interesting thing to watch, but I don't think that hurts them as much as Randy Gregory's absence hurts the Broncos. The Broncos just have not been good in the red zone so far this season. So Colts +3, Colts +3.5, depending where you get it. I'm hammering the Colts tonight, and I feel really good about Indianapolis's chances to win this game outright as well. They're +130 on the money line, but the best bet here is Colts +3. So we have that. And now some player props. We're hitting Matt Ryan over/under. We're hitting Nyheim Hines. We're going to hit an interception prop as well. So Matt Ryan, his over/under is set at 230.5 pass yards tonight. And I'm all over the under on this. Matt Ryan hasn't been necessarily fantastic. He has gone over 230 pass yards twice this season, in week 1 and I believe last week as well. But Denver's the 5th best pass defense so far this season. And I think that continues, especially with the fact that Denver's terrible in terms of stopping the run. Well, maybe not terrible, but they're not as good as they need to be. And if it's Jonathan Taylor, he's out. So it's Nyheim Hines. And I still have faith that Nyheim Hines is going to carry a solid load and be good and take a lot of the pressure off of Matt Ryan. I don't think Matt Ryan will be able to push the ball down the field all that much. And 230 yards is a lot of yards. So give me the Matt Ryan under 230.5 pass yards. And that leads us perfectly into Nyheim Hines. His over-under is set at 37.5. Give me the over on that all day, every day. Without Jonathan Taylor, paired with the fact that this Denver defense allows 4.8 yards per carry, I think Nyheim Hines is going to have himself a day and rush for maybe 50, 60, 75 yards. I think Nyheim Hines is going to have a really solid night. So give me Nyheim Hines over 37.5. I think the game plan is going to be run heavy tonight, with or without. I mean, I keep saying with or without. It's without Jonathan Taylor. It's a short week. He couldn't make it back in time. So it's Nyheim Hines' show, and give me the over for him tonight. And then Patrick Surtain of the Broncos to record an interception. Matt Ryan has thrown 5 interceptions, folks, this season. He's thrown an interception in every game but one. Patrick Surtain is a good cornerback. He doesn't have an interception this season. It's plus 485 on DRF Sportsbook. So if you're in Iowa, you can check out all of these player props. He's plus 485 to record an interception. I'm going to hammer that plus 485. I just think the value is there. I think Surtain will be covering whoever the Colts throw out there on the wide receiver side. And I think Surtain will be able to come down with an interception. Matt Ryan's going to make a bad decision. He has 5 interceptions. He's thrown one in week 1, 2 in week 2, or 3 in week. He has 5 interceptions. That's a lot through 4 weeks of football. So give me Patrick Surtain to record an interception at plus 485. I think if anyone's going to do it on this Broncos defense in terms of being able to kind of predict it, it's going to be Patrick Surtain. So that's the breakdown of today's games. Here's our best bets recap. As always, we're going Colts +3, +3.5, depending on your book. But if you're with DRF Sportsbook in Iowa, that's Colts +3. Matt Ryan under 230.5 pass yards. I think Matt Ryan will be handing the ball off a lot more. I think this Broncos pass defense will be able to kind of slow down the passing attack of the Colts, the underwhelming passing attack of the Colts. And I think Nyheim Hines over 37.5 rush yards. Denver's rush defense is not good, so I think he gets a couple touches. He busts one for 10, 15 yards, and he's halfway there. So give me Nyheim Hines over 37.5 rush yards. And I think Patrick Surtain will record an interception at plus 485. So we'll be back tomorrow with some College Football Friday action. Until then, may your night be profitable. We're coming off a 2-1 Monday night. We're looking to keep that steam rolling here tonight on Thursday. Y'all have a wonderful rest of your day.